Hey everybody, welcome to Badcast. We've got Armin,
Bill.
Dan.
Self here. Andy, hey guys.
all right. We were talking the other day, all quarantined in our own homes, and we started talking about the lion, and we wanted to talk more about the lion. So we're going to talk about the lion. Before I even start and kick it off, please check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Battle reports are still coming out. I know we're trying to figure out what to do with all this quarantining, but yeah, check us out.
Yeah, I guess
okay, guys,
just jump on the boat, right, with everyone else, just podcasting from home.
Yeah,
that's right.
Pretty much,
right.
Yeah. Amongst all the
we
other
figured
projects.
that if we're going to discuss this, we might as well share it, and then if anybody else wants to add their comments, please do. If anybody wants to come argue with us and on video like this, let us know. We'll bring you on. You can argue with us. If you don't agree with what we have to say. But so who's excited about the Lion? Who here plays Dark Angels? Nobody.
No.
I play 40k Dark Angels. They're my first army.
You were a fan of the Dark Angels for a long
time.
Yeah,
they were my. I bought Angels of Death Codex. So what's that? Second edition Codex.
Yes, sir.
And I've always been fascinated with how they're really not traitors at all. Yeah, and I have to admit, when I saw the Lion, I actually
believed he was a traitor.
Like it makes me actually want to play Dark Angels, guys.
Well, they have a beautiful range. First off, right?
They do. A lot of the new models, yeah, they're beautiful. They're very specific, right? Like a lot of their stuff is new. A lot of their stuff is kitted out, right? And like you're looking at the Lion now. That's with the chain, right?
The Wolf's Blade.
Wolf's Blade, yeah. So okay,
main screen now.
Who knows the story between the two blades?
Isn't one his first blade and the other one was after he became a Primarch?
Gulliman breaks it, I think.
Now we're talking, none of us know.
Yeah, I don't know much about his character. I'm not there in the books, but model-wise, looks awesome.
It does, right? Honestly. I actually prefer, so my preference for the model, I like the sword, so the Lion's Blade, and the non-helmeted head, so they like, that's the one.
Right there.
That one there?
That one? No way.
Honestly, so I'm going to go out and say this. I think that this is one of the nicest Primarchs they've done so far. One of. And I think they've really captured the Lion.
Yeah.
Right? They've done some really good stuff with some other Primarchs. Like I love Russ as well. I think they've really captured his anger, his savagery, but when it comes to the Lion, I think they've done a really, really amazing job with this model. And he's huge too. Like I can't really, the scale is a little hard to tell, but he looks big compared to those Marines.
Well, that one Marine looks folded in half.
Yeah, and lower. Yeah, true.
But yeah, he's isn't he supposed to be one of the bigger Primarchs anyways? In the fluff?
He's tall, right?
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think I remember seeing a comparison of a guardsman and a Marine, and then Dorn, and then the Lion. And I think the Lion is supposed to be a little bit taller than some of the other Primarchs. So I think you're right. He is supposed to be big.
Myself, I actually like the chainsword and the helmet version. Yeah. Looks pretty cool. He'd look cool with the helmet and the sword as well, but I think I just like the helmet on him. Like it's pretty badass.
For having a Primarch with those options,
it's nice, right?
Now imagine if every other Primarch had, the option to put a helmet on.
Have a helmet. Takes the 17th Primarch to give him a helmet.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Interchangeable helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, you could magnetize them. You could do whatever you want.
Well, you're going to have to definitely do both, because that's the right thing to do.
And Forge World could literally just do an upgrade sprue. And it literally
for a lot of them,
your helmet, yeah.
People will buy it too.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure they
They
would.
would.
Depends who. Like, does Horus ever go helmeted?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, right? I've
There's-
never heard any of the stories.
There's one of the guys who like made his own custom helmet for Horus that you've seen floating around online.
Oh, the image? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I've seen it.
It's just like the artwork. So
I haven't actually seen that.
I can't see Angron going out there with a helmet. To be
Right?
honest, like he's
maybe
just
a gladiator style one.
Where
Like
Yeah.
the Spartan
It's
helmet
not
with
even
the
functional.
plume
It's
Right.
head.
just
well he
ornamental.
probably when he's in the arenas, right, with the sands, like he's probably had it at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure he probably just whipped that thing off and slammed it through somebody's skull or something, right?
I was going to say, probably smashed it into somebody.
But yeah, they have the gladiatorial feel, so I mean, you would think that those kind of helmets for them, but like the lion here is obviously very knightish, right? That's
Mhm.
their whole thing. That's the Dark Angels' whole thing. Is they're very much so like knights.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it looks fabulous.
I really like the model. It's definitely going to get it when it's
Yeah.
released, when they ship. So
I'm curious to what's on his cape.
on the
If he's got
back,
Chaos
some kind
Star.
of symbol or a star.
For sure.
Well, his Iron Halo is almost there.
Yeah,
So-
well look at
Yeah.
the star at the top, man. That's what I mean. It's there.
So it's such a shame for me. I'm going to segue that I love the sword because, well, no, let's not go there. Let's talk about what's next. His stats, right?
Oh yes.
What's next? Oh, wait. Who's he fighting?
So-
Night Lords there?
there
there's
looks
a-
like Mechanicum actually,
Mechanicum, but there's
Okay.
a big Titan at the back.
There's a different
Or
picture
Knight.
with Night Lords that's almost like the same battlefield. So
Right. Okay, so let's talk about his stats. Here we go.
Yeah.
So what do you got there? So 8 weapon skill, which,
Mhm.
so let's compare that. That's pretty good. There's only a couple Primarchs that have higher than that, right?
Sanguinius, Russ, and Angron.
Does Russ?
Yeah, he's 9.
Right, Russ has 9, Sanguinus has 9. Who has 8?
A Perturabo.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is
Fulgrim.
super weird.
Petrabo's hardcore.
What's Vulcan have?
He's like weapon skill 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah, it's not very.
Yeah, he's
we're
very
we're
low,
not
isn't he?
gonna. I have it here. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Check it.
Gonna peek and
Well,
I
we-
don't
well, we
think
talk-
there's a lot at 8, but
Let's talk about strength 7.
Kurz is
Yeah.
8.
That's obscene.
Kurz is 8, boys.
oh, is he? Oh, nice.
Yeah, Conrad Kurz, he's 8. So I guess there's a bunch that are 8, but
Korax
yeah, Ferris
might be
Manus
eight
is
as
7. What's Angron? 9. Yeah. But that still means he's a little bit higher than majority of the other Primarchs,
But-
right?
Yeah. But Lionel Johnson being as strong as Ferris Manus and Vulcan.
That's crazy.
Right. 7 is
7?
huge.
Strength
So,
7's
okay,
too crazy.
so- Let's talk about that. Is that anywhere in the stories?
That's saying that he's stronger than those two or the same strength.
Or they like specifically talk about him being extra strong, like with Vulcan. Well, Horus is 7 too, right?
Yeah.
But like with Vulcan, is Vulcan 7?
he should be.
Why
He's
can't I
supposed
find?
to be the strongest Primarch next to Ferris
go.
Manus.
Oh, see, Vulcan's 7/7, so he's 7 strength and toughness.
Yeah.
Right. So he's but yeah, he's 7 weapon skill. Vulcan.
Ferris Manus is 7 and 7.
Yeah.
You know, Mortarian's
Toughness 7.
toughness 7, but
Yeah.
strength
Yeah.
6.
Yeah. So strength 7 is awesome, especially when you look at his other rules. But so what else do we got here? 6 toughness is normal. 6 wounds is normal. 7 initiative is actually really good.
It's kind of in the middle there because a lot of them are 6, but the faster ones are obviously
Yeah, like
but there's only a few
Conrad
8s.
is 7.
yeah.
Conrad's at 7.
Yeah, but there's only a few 8s though, right? Like Khan, Fulgrim,
Yeah.
I think is up there too, right? Like Russ is 7.
Yeah,
Right,
Dorn is initiative 5. So,
Yeah, well, Dorn is slow.
but
Slow.
like, but I mean,
Horus is 6.
But he's weapon skill 8, so
Oh, is Dorn?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thorn is 8?
Yep.
Oh.
Hardcore.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Dorn is like the runt of all the Primarchs.
Well, not with weapon skill 8, he's not.
Yeah, but he's also like initiative 4 with his chain axe.
Yeah, he's pretty slow when it comes to
Yeah.
it.
well, so is Purdy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
initiative
that's
5,
true.
right? So I mean,
He's
they go
initiative
against
1
each
with the
other.
hammer.
They're balanced, right? Like they're meant to go against each other pretty much.
So he's in the middle then with the initiative 7
So
then. We'll
he's
go with
like
that.
he's not at the elite fighter, but he's in the mid fighter rule thing.
Right.
So he's better than a lot of the other ones, but he's not, with Russ and Fulgrim, I would say, and with stat lines for combat. So
Mhm.
Well, what about his attacks? 5 attacks?
yeah, I think that's average.
Yeah,
So
it
that is
seems to be.
average. A lot of other Primarchs will have like 2 close combat weapons, like Russ, Horus, and they'll get that extra attack.
Yeah.
Gallman
Where
has it.
Gilman, yeah, where he won't because this is a 2-handed weapon. But I mean, 5 is still normal compared to the other Primarchs. Okay, let's go down. Let's look. Lions chosen. I can't quite read it from here. No, it's very wrong.
The collar.
Yeah.
Collar. Okay. So what does it do?
So when reduced to 4 wounds or less, the lion gains +1 attack. Increased to +2 attacks when reduced to 2 wounds or less.
Okay.
So as he gets hurt, he gets more attacks.
Sounds like a corn rule to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'm feeling it.
Right.
So
more ferocious, obviously.
he's going into a rage when he gets hurt, I guess.
Yeah, like they do talk about his temper, so sure, but I don't really know how that plays into the story. Right, the extra attacks. Like it's a cool rule that makes him a little bit better as he gets weak. Right, and at 2 wounds, having 7 attacks is really nice. Right, but I don't know how that really plays with the story, the fluff.
I don't know. It's pretty good getting more attacks the more you get
Not
hurt.
sure.
Having up to 7 attacks just regularly.
Well, what does it say in that little blurb?
So it pretty much is saying as the Lord of the First Legion had faced terrors unimaginable by mortal man and triumphed, had vanquished foes that threatened the utter extinction of life as it is known, and slain creatures more vast than even the greatest war engines. When he went into battle, there were few foes worthy of death at the lion's hand, and only those that could prove by bloody defiance that they were worthy of his enmity would witness the true color of the lion. So maybe
like
a really
Nemean,
scrappy
right?
fight, they're trading blows, and then they realize that this guy's a machine and messes him up, right? He gets a bit
He just doesn't
more.
give up. No.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Next one. Next one is nice. I like that one.
It's,
Yeah, this is
this is one I don't like. I think
So-
it's shenanigans.
An absolute focus.
Yeah.
So he never hits worse than 4+ in close combat.
So in any assault phase, Johnson is never required to roll more than a 4+. To hit any enemy model, regardless of the enemy's weapon skill and special rules or modifiers in play.
So he literally is giving the middle finger to Book 7.
Yeah.
So like Magnus.
Magnus, Ross, Korax.
Yep.
What's his name? Logar has that ability,
Lorgar,
doesn't
yeah.
he? He has some kind of ability where it's 5s or something. Okay.
So do you think somebody
he's
could
got-
like? This sounds like it takes precedence over everything else, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it nullifies a lot of the special
The other rules of -1 to hit and things like that, right? Whether it's a psychic power or whether it's anything else.
An inbuilt ability, yeah.
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 So this doesn't apply to lots of stuff, but it applies to very few things out there that could threaten him, like Russ, like Magnus. right?
Who else?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
I don't know.
It's pretty. It could be pretty powerful, but I mean, like you said, like the thing is he's literally nullifying other Primarch's rules, abilities, or whatever,
Okay,
right?
but let's talk about those rules. Like, one of my biggest beef with some of those rules are that it makes it so difficult to beat some of those Primarchs, right? Like, Russ having a -1 to hit can be insane when you need 5s to hit him with his high
But-
weapon skill.
Yeah.
Didn't
Right.
they
It used to be
FAQ that though,
6.
didn't they?
It
No,
used to
it
be
was
a
no, it
a
used to be
six after
-2 if
after
you
the
were
first round.
after the first round. Yeah, so now it's only -1, which is better. But like, Magnus having a -1 to hit all the time for him and his unit is insane. I personally think. Like, I think the rule is crazy, right? Like, I get fluff wise, yes, he's a psyker and he's probably one of the most powerful Primarchs out there and all that, and I get it, right? But it's almost like that rule should apply to regular units, but maybe Primarch should ignore those rules, right? Like,
Yeah.
something like that, because Russ fights Magnus and beats him. Yet,
Yeah.
in the rules, like, Russ technically doesn't stand a chance. No, thank you. Russ doesn't stand a chance against Magnus in the rules when he's, beefed out with psychic powers,
yeah, Magnus is all jacked up.
Yeah.
right? Like, no Primarch technically stands a chance against him, right? So I think that, and that -1 really comes into play, right? So I think,
I don't know.
And that's where the line is, like from the fluff to the rules of the game itself, right? Like,
yeah,
how close is it going to be to the actual fluff? Well,
I
some
agree.
of it is, some of it could be, and then some of it's just kind of
Honestly, maybe this is a test.
out to lunch, right?
Could
I think
be.
all Primarchs should have this ability.
It would be
Yeah.
nice.
It just seems to me like if this rule came out before Russ and Magnus came out, would be completely fine. But it just feels like as soon as Russ and Magnus came out with their -1 rules, he literally comes out saying, "No, I'm not going to do that." It just feels like they're literally just gearing it so that he can beat them. So it almost just feels like a power creep to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
That's fair.
I think it's just because he came out after Magnus and Russ. But if he
Mhm.
came up before, it wouldn't even be a conversation, right? Like
No.
it would
But
just be like,
that's the
oh
thing,
yeah, it's a cool ability.
so.
Yeah.
Rules wise, last one, and some of the better rules, like for Primarchs, I think, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Now I wonder
And
if
him being like weapon skill 8 and then having 5 to 7 attacks, he's always going to be hitting for the most 50-50. But it just he's going to be hitting more often than not.
right.
Now that he doesn't have a negative modifier to him.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, who, like
very
Armin
true.
said, who knows? This could be them testing the waters out. Are they going to go back and adjust all the other Primarchs? Are they going to come out
Personally,
with
like,
other stuff? I don't know, right? But
I don't mind the -1 to hit rule for like Russ and Magnus, but it gets a little OP when you're using it against other Primarchs, right? Where they can beat, even without that rule, they are able to beat majority of the Primarchs out there. But with that rule, it just doesn't even make it a competition, right? Where now, the Lion breaks that rule. I personally think all Primarchs should, break that rule, for example, or they should never hit on worse than 4+ or whatever, right? But then, you might have to adjust some of the other rules for them too, to make them fair or whatever.
well,
Yeah. Okay. What's next? The
So,
weapons, right? So we've got the
now
lions.
now it's the
This
weapon.
is where the big controversy is.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. So my weapon, my choice of weapons, the one that I like that looks better, is the lion's sword. So what? Strength is user.
Yeah.
AP1. So
Yep.
I really like AP1. It's really good against vehicles.
It seems a little bit over the top for what else that sword does, but
It's
So
super
okay, so
sharp.
so you
It's
have
just super
Lance.
sharp, man.
So you have Lance, but Lance making stuff at weapon skill 12, or sorry, not weapon
Armor
skill 12,
12, yeah.
armor 12.
Armor 12. Remember,
And
your
he's strength 7.
7?
So
he
on
needs a 6
5s,
to
you're
pin?
glancing 6 pens, yeah.
Like, who cares,
Mm,
right? Like, any vehicle that's tougher. Because really, what are you charging? If you're
If
charging,
you're charging anything with armor 14, it's your 6s, right? Because you're going to need like the Pythorian and the Raiders.
right, some knights, sure, bring him down to 12, where the front is 13,
Yeah.
right? And AP1, but still, you still need that 6 to pen, and that's not an easy thing to roll, right? Fleshbane, well, Mastercrafted is great, right? Two-handed, we kind of talked that both his weapons are two-handed. Mastercrafted, great. And then Fleshbane. So you wound on 2s against everything else.
Well, he's toughness or strength 7, so he's wounding 2s on most any other thing other than Primarchs and maybe some demons.
So maybe demons, maybe
Mechanicum.
some Mechanicum units.
Mechanicum, I guess, yeah.
Right. Okay, so now the Wolfblade
which is
is
far more
plus
crazy.
3 strength, AP2, two-handed shred, and fearsome ruin. So fearsome unit, any unit which suffers one or more casualties from this weapon has to take a morale check
during the assault phase.
during the assault phase, and has to roll an additional D6. So okay,
and you keep the 2 highest dice.
That's right.
For the result, right? Yeah.
So how would this work with word bearers? Because you roll 3 dice and pick the 2 lowest.
So they would just cancel each other out, right? You roll 2 dice and you decide.
You just roll regular leadership then, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Right, because they're contradictory rules. Okay, so let's talk about that. So he's strength 10 here. So in which case, against vehicles, would you ever use the Lion's Blade?
No.
Would you ever use
why would you ever use the Lion's Blade?
Well, you won't. You'll use the Wolf Blade all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And if you say,
Against
no,
vehicle.
I'll use the sword, no, you won't.
Right,
You have,
like
don't
at
lie to
strength
me.
10, even
Strength
14
10.
armor.
the thing
Even
that
14 armor, but you're penning on 5s and 6s now.
that's the thing. The thing that
No,
that
let's
kills
ignore
it.
shred. Let's just talk about vehicles.
We can't ignore shred.
But let's just talk about vehicles for now.
Okay, fine.
Right? Like, he's better against vehicles with the Wolf Blade. He doesn't have lance,
that's the
but
point
who
of the
cares?
weapon.
Right?
Yeah.
It's AP2. Okay, so AP1 is significantly better against vehicles than AP2, but you're getting double the amount of pens, because on 5s and 6s you're penning instead of 6s.
Yeah.
So AP2 and AP1 are actually statistically the same if you get double the amount of pens.
Yeah.
Against armor 14. But against armor 13, the Wolf Blade is better, because now you're penning on a 4, 5, 6. Right? Armor 12, like it's not even a question anymore. Like, he's going to rip apart anything with armor 12, even 13.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so this weapon isn't mastercrafted.
So before you go further, not to mention he's fighting at initiative, right?
Yeah.
With this weapon.
Right.
With this weapon. Whereas like a character like Gullman, he has 2 weapon choices.
Yeah.
I get stuck in with a knight. I'm using my fist. Now that knight's hitting me before I'm using my fist, right?
Yeah.
So who fights at strength 10 at initiative?
Ferris and Vulcan.
Ferris and Vulcan, right?
Other than like Magnus getting all jacked up.
Because even Horus's weapon is unwieldy. The Worldbreaker.
Yeah, his mace.
Yeah, it's unwieldy. So really, he's at strength
Dorn's
10.
weapon. Dorn's two-hander.
Dorn's is at -1, but as soon as Per Travel gets Ferris's hammer, he's fighting on wieldy.
Yeah. Yeah, he drops down to initiative 1 as well.
Yeah. So like strength 10 initiative with 5 attacks. So Vulcan has how many attacks? 4?
4 or 5, yeah.
I think it's 4. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 4 too, because he has like a low amount. So he's 5 attacks at strength 10 with 8 weapon skill. That's really good. And then now, Bill, let's talk about killing troops. Like, why would you ever care about Fleshbane?
You wouldn't, because you're always winning on 2s.
Yeah, at strength 10, there's nothing toughness 9. What's toughness 9? Is there a demon that's
maybe one demon, and I think that's
Kabunda, maybe?
Yeah. But
Shred is so much better.
Shred, you're re-rolling to wound.
Yeah.
So majority of the time, it's 2+ with a reroll or 3+ with a reroll, 1 point another. And 3+ with a reroll is still better than Fleshbane, than 2+. So
for sure.
I think I think what the problem with this weapon is they took a tank hunting weapon and gave it infantry killing abilities with shred, right? Being able to re-roll for wounds and stuff. So you're
Right.
always probably wounding because you fail on ones, right?
Right.
And so the problem with the infantry killing weapon is there's not enough there to actually give it a good killing ability.
Okay,
all it
but
gets is
even if they
action.
removed shred, this weapon would still be better.
Yeah, but they would have to. I think they have to give Lion's Blade more of a infantry killing stat, because if we talk about like Russ has a similar kind of setup where he's got one blade meant for infantry, which actually against characters does D3 wounds, right?
Sever life, yeah, that's a sword.
Yeah, and then he's got a power axe, which is +2 strength, and it's got Sunder, which is meant for killing vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
They gave Lionel Johnson's tank hunting weapon shred, which makes it ridiculous because they didn't give it to the blade. They should have gave it to the Lion's
But the other
Blade.
one has lance. Don't you like?
That's.
It seems like they're like trying to give you the options to be a jack of all trades, but I personally hope that the Lion Sword is like, included in his cost, and I hope the Wolf Blade is like plus 40 points or something obscene.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Like when you talk about Russ has both weapons stock, right?
Yeah.
Like if I had to choose, I would never choose the Lion's Blade, except that it looks freaking cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's iconic. And
it's almost like they would want the Lion Sword actual part of the model to be the Wolf's Blade.
Do you think maybe that
stats?
Maybe it's one of those things where the Lion's Blade was used prior, because who gives him the Wolf Blade?
I thought he used it on his planet to hunt the
Wolf Blade.
Well, he had it on his earliest days with the Great Crusade, is what it says here, right? So
the Wolf Blade
Wiki or whatever.
No, it says it right here on this.
Oh, does it? Okay.
It remained at his side even to the last days of the Horus Heresy, a masterpiece of armored craft whose flickering silver teeth wrought a fearsome ruin upon the foe and shattered the resolve of those that stood against the lion.
But it says born by the first Primarch in the earliest days of the Great Crusade. So it doesn't say that it was given to him prior to that, right?
No, he born by the first Primarch, so
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think maybe the Lion Sword is more iconic because what's his name carries it around in 40K.
Did they confirm that?
Cypher,
that is the Lion Sword? That is the Lion Sword for sure?
Yeah, the handle's the same.
Okay.
There was like this joke.
The meme of him swinging Cypher?
He's
Right. I do remember seeing that. I do remember seeing that. So what are we saying here? Wolf Blade for sure, all the time. If you're looking for
every time, all the time,
better weapon.
And you guys better be modeling that Wolf Blade too. Don't be running the sword and just saying it's the blade. I don't believe you.
But the sword.
Well, you know
that the sword looks better.
It does. It looks better. For
really,
sure.
I mean,
I think the problem with Wolf's Blade is not so much its rules; it's that it doesn't have any negatives.
Yeah.
A lot of the other guys that have the ability to jump to a tank hunting weapon, say like Gulliman or Pertrabo or whatever, or even Sanguinius, his spear is awesome, but it's like a turn one thing, and everyone else fights at initiative 1.
You know what would make this okay is if they put unwieldy on it.
Yeah, or even -2, -3.
I'd be okay if it was unwieldy. I'd be like, okay, fine.
Like that would make sense because 10 strength, like there's very few Primarchs out there with 10 strength that it's not unwieldy.
Yeah.
Right? Like 2, we talked about it's Vulcan, and they talk about Vulcan being super strong, and that's why, and Ferris, same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's why it just seems like I would prefer if he was base strength 6, just because at least strength 9 is still awesome, still really good, but not super overpowered.
You could make an argument that Vulcan and Ferris fighting at initiative, but they're initiative 5 or 6. They're not initiative, 7 or 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're fighting, they're fighting Praetors and stuff like that, which is fine. But, It's
Right.
yeah, initiative 7 is just super super good, especially with this sword or the wolf blade. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why you would ever run Lion Sword with this.
I mean,
here, you know?
I like the idea of that rule where he can make people run away easier.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like, what Primarch won't charge into a squad that he will just shred apart? Right? Like, there's very few squads that can sit there and stand up to a Primarch that
Right.
aren't also fearless or stubborn. That, right? So,
No, it's very true. It's very true.
right? So, I mean, I like the rule. It's cool, right? But I don't think it's, I don't know. And even if a squad that's like Word Bears, let's say, so they're going to stick around for longer, like, you're still going to tear apart a regular squad in 2 turns pretty easily, right?
Well, he's popping Galvor back with one wound, right?
Yeah, like strengthen is huge,
So he's instant
right?
deathing
Like,
all
lots
the
of those toughness
toughness
5 guys are
Everything.
instant,
Custodes, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
right?
A lot of
That
demons
said,
are toughness 5. So.
yeah. Like, that said, there's very few weapons out there that insta kill, and those are like usually with Primarchs that tend to be a little bit weaker. So,
Like Alfarius.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. If
but he's got armor
you
bane.
scroll up a little bit there, Monty, or if you guys caught it anyways, his armor, right? That's one of the big factors in this thing as well, is having a 2+4+ and being able to re-roll a failed invulnerable save once a turn is pretty good.
So it's not once a phase.
Once a turn.
Once a turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Gilliman is once a phase, or am I?
It's once a phase.
For Gilliman.
Yeah, failed invulnerable save.
Okay.
You know,
So
that's
yeah.
good. Like.
So yeah, 2+ save, 4+ save invulnerable, which can be re-rolled once per turn.
Which is
like
that alone is crazy, man.
It's really good. It makes him one of the. I would say he's probably one of the top Primarch. Just off the top of my head, I think Horus can still beat him with the claw, right?
Right.
But see, even the claw, like lowering his strength, it would take a while with the +3 strength. Like, it would take a while for him to take effect. Like, the weapon skill would go down quicker.
Yeah,
right?
Which wouldn't even matter though.
That's right, because he always hits on force. Well, Horus would hit him easier after a while, right? Horus would hit him easier after a while.
I think what Horus is strength 8 to start, or is he 9?
He's strength 7.
Or sorry, weapon skills 8 or 9.
Weapon skill 8.
Okay.
So after one turn, Horus would hit on 3s with
you just switch to your maul.
Well, you wouldn't want to, because it's disabling strike. You still want to keep doing.
Oh, but the maul is concussive, right? The mace.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
it'd be better to concuss him, I think.
I don't know if the claws would be worth it.
Maybe for the first
round. I'm trying to think. No, because think about it. If you take him down for let's say you take him down 4 wounds. Now he's strength 3 + 3 6. Now he's wounding on 4s. Yeah, he has shred. I get it, but that little bit can make a big difference. Now he gets 2 extra wounds if you take him down 2 wounds, or 2 extra attacks if you take him out to 2 wounds. So that kind of offsets.
Like this is like a 6-turn combat, though.
Oh, it is for sure. I still think Horus can do it. Magnus is one of the top Primarchs still with his psychic powers. I don't know. What do you think? Like, can Russ? Do you think Russ can do this?
Oh, for sure.
If he gets good rolls on the
you need good rolls, yeah. You need the first 2 turns to go well, but I think Severlife can do it. Khan,
we've done the math.
He can, but
Khan can beat Russ.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we went over this. So if Khan can beat Russ, can he not even put up a fight against, Lion or Sanguinus, for example?
No.
Maybe this is something we do. We just roll it out a few times. Not like Math Hammer, but actually just roll it out and see what happens.
Yeah, because I know there is Math Hammer floating around on it.
Throw them in the arena.
Just get one. When he comes out, just get one painted up, and we'll start playing with them, right?
Yeah.
Figure out
real fights.
Yeah, but I don't know when they're going to come out with him.
I'm assuming he's going to come out when the book comes out.
Probably.
No, but what I'm saying, wait,
How long?
right?
And everything. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know when they're going to start shipping again, right? Because they technically have the model. It would be to their advantage to start shipping them out prior to the book even coming out, right?
So yeah, 2021 third quarter line will come out, and then 2021 fourth
that's like a year and a
quarter.
half ago, man.
Fourth quarter
then what-
will.
And then
be
what?
the
Horus
book.
Heresy goes to 8th edition.
Ooh, those are
Some hateful
those are
words.
fighting
scary
words, man.
Yeah.
Although
Oh,
I won't lie, it does make it kind of interesting how some of these more recent Primarchs have the ability for -1 hit rolls, and now you're starting to see like just a generic always hit on 3s or he's hit on whatever on 4s for Lion, because a lot of the 40k characters do that as well, right? Most of your characters hit on a flat 2-up or whatever the number is, but
right.
it might be a way for them to nudge into different rule sets, but keeping the old feel. So definitely interesting to
maybe.
see what they're doing with that.
Well,
Yeah.
like a flat, you can't ever hit worse than this. You know, does even out those few spikes,
Yeah.
right? Because when you're fighting against somebody that you hit on 5s, you know, you can go turns without hitting at all.
Doing anything,
Right.
yeah.
That's right. Which can really hamper the ability to actually hurt that Primarch, right? Even through attrition. Yeah.
No, he's a good Primarch all in all. Like
Yeah.
Overall, yeah, for sure.
Shitted on him. He's still a very good Primarch, and
But I want to see his army rules because we've
that's
talked
what
about
we're
his
waiting for.
combat.
We're
but
waiting for points, army rules, like everything, right?
But fluff wise,
What do you
he's
guys
supposed
think
to be.
point wise? I'd say 450 at least.
I'm thinking 480, 475.
It depends on his army rules.
If
'Cause
his army
think about it,
rules are
guys.
good.
Fluff wise, he's supposed to be just as good a tactician as Horus, right? Like the best, one of the best Primarchs. It's like top 2. You know, Gilliman is up there. Sanguinus. Well, Sanguinus is more like, you know, loved by all, great at everything, right? But like he's supposed to be just as good as Horus. So if he's not giving some really nice rules to his army, I would be surprised and disappointed because that's not his fluff. But that said, now you're looking at a Primarch that's 485 to 500 points, right? Because he's up there, like close combat, he's up there with a lot of the fighters.
Yeah.
And I mean, Russ is 455 points. If the Lion is almost as good as Russ, if not better, like I'm not sure in combat, and he's got army rules, which I'm sure Russ does too, and he's got army rules, like he needs to be up there. He needs to be 480. I would think he's like 485, something like that.
Looking at all the old Primarchs, what would you think Lionel Johnson should get for like army-wide rules? Because you're saying that he's this tactician. Do you think like he should be giving like stubborn to all his units or leadership 10? I know a lot of guys give out leadership 10 to their units.
Leadership 10 I could see for sure.
That would kind of make sense too. I know when I look at some of the better Primarchs out there, not including Magnus. So let's not talk about Magnus, but let's talk about like Horus. So Horus seizes better.
Yeah.
Right. I could definitely see Lion getting like a up or 5-up seize. Right. Gilliman forces people to reroll seizes. Right. So those are kind of two opposites.
Yeah.
Right. I think seizing on a 4+ is better. Right. So something like that. Horus lets like the Justarin and his veterans be troops. Right. Maybe those special Terminators. I don't remember what they're called now. Maybe them.
Oh, he's probably going to have like Inner Circle or Knights of the Crusade or something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Or
that's going to allow him.
He might get a right
to
of
do
war
that
too, right?
Oh, they will.
Something like that. Yeah. But maybe able to do something like that would all really good. So those are kind of like just two generic ones off the top of my head that I'm thinking would probably be cool for him to have and would make sense according to the fluff, right? Being able to maybe bring in reserves whenever he wants, right? So not having to roll.
That'd be cool.
Right, that would be interesting because if you think about it, not all of them, of course, because if you gave him all of those, like it would be insane, right? But let's say you just give him the ability to bring in reserves whenever he chooses. Well, then maybe him being able to just bring stuff in second turn That would be really cool army rule and would make him that force multiplier as well. That would be quite good,
Yeah.
right? There's not many Primarchs out there that can do that. I think Fulgrim with a Rite of War can. Or maybe it's the Rite of War that lets him do that.
But so we're just talking about like him doing that, but what if he unlocks gear for guys instead? Because they talk about rad grenades and plasmas, weapons, and stuff like that. What if instead he unlocks the ability to everyone to take stuff like that, or he could be like a siege breaker, right? Where they don't need a siege breaker. He can just take phosphic weapons with him, right? I don't know. I'm just thinking,
employ different stuff.
yeah, so that he could, so that thud guns can take phosphic weapons.
Or you know what, the other one too, and following that path, like we talk about, they're going to have rights of war, and out of everybody, you would think the Dark Angels would have more rights of war, right? Because they have the Deathwing, they have the Dreadwing, they have the Ravenwing, they have the whatever other wings. I don't remember now.
He might have a thing where he allows him to, if he's in the army, allows him to actually deploy with all of those, like,
and that's exactly what I was thinking.
Different things, right?
Right.
There could be that, like
that's right. Yeah.
Armory
they already got
of Old Knight or whatever.
Yeah.
I know they do already have 2 rights, but and I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they won't change the rights, but I'm thinking they definitely have the opportunity to, because think about it, like Ravenwing, they had those, so you could sell a lot of bikes as Dark Angels being able to have Ravenwing, because there's only one other army out there that focuses solely on like a bike or fast army, right? And then you've got the Dreadwing, which is basically kind of like the siege breakers. You've got an army out there that does that as well, but you could also do that with Dark Angels, right? I just don't know how many players out there are there for Dark Angels, and how effective this would be as a way to sell models and sell the army, right? But it might be a really effective way, right? Because a lot of people might jump on playing if they have the flexibility and the ability to basically pick and choose what they want in an army, right?
True. You think? I'm hoping that they'll do Luther.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I'd be surprised if they didn't. They have to, man. Like,
right. And the other thing,
who do you think Luther and Nemiel?
Well,
Nemiel,
actually, the other thing I was thinking. The other
Zahariel.
Zahario?
Yeah, is the
librarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's
so
Remiel,
but they're
tutor.
Those are both traders, though. They need some kind of.
They're all traders, Dan. They're all traders.
No. The librarian, Nemiel isn't a trader.
No, but
he back talks.
and gets killed. Yeah.
Yeah. He talks smack.
So I'm thinking
exploded head or what? Like,
I'm thinking maybe okay, if they do Luther and another character, maybe a Cypher.
Yeah, Cypher would be
could.
Like, I don't know if it's like it would be the current Cypher, but like the position of you know what I mean? Cypher, right?
Like a console type that only they can take, kind of thing.
Exactly, something like that.
Jacked up more attack.
So who knows? Maybe.
Okay, you have to remember though, if you read the stories, there's not many Cyphers out there that are really good gunslingers.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're just talking about the model, right? The 40K
I
model.
I understand the 40K Cypher, yes, but like the 30K Cyphers, a lot of them some of them used to be old, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times it was like an older, wiser position. It was only Lion that appointed that young guy as Cypher in order to break the chain.
Yeah.
So now,
but there could be stuff like that, right?
I don't think they'll do Cypher because there's already a 40K model, and Forge Worlds has a bad history of not putting in units that are 40K and bringing them to the 30K, like Sanguinary Guard. There's a bunch of other units that they haven't, because there's already 40K models and they don't like sharing models with 40K. So I would highly doubt that Cypher is going to be in it just because there's already a model for 40K. Same, there's a Fabius Bile should have been in from book 1, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of smaller characters that should have been in,
Yeah.
like model wise, or maybe even
Like Lucius. Why
Yeah.
doesn't he have rules?
Mm-hmm.
Or
That's because
Lucius
there's a
or whatever.
40k
you want.
model.
But do they have a model for him?
Man, Argyle
For
it's
Tall.
an old model, but yes.
Oh,
Argyle
He's
Tall
an
doesn't
awesome-
have any rules.
But
sorry.
that's my
Argyle
point.
Tall
is
should
that
have rules.
Yeah,
they
that's
don't-
true too.
they
He
don't
should.
do a lot of things. But I think Lucius for sure. Do you think they'll have him in 2 different forms?
Probably not.
Don't know. Probably just one. Full trader. If the
Tarvitz would have been
rumors-
cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
even
laugh
like
if Dark Angels, if they have how the Thousand Suns don't actually specifically say if they're traitor or loyalist. I wonder if
It will.
Lion.
It
They
will.
won't say you are,
They'll
you'll
just be
just be
like,
able to pick.
it'll be so ambiguous too. The
no, it's gonna
description.
No.
be Luther's choice selection, and you're gonna see the big chaos star right on the
Yeah.
No,
Hey.
I don't. This is why I'm really. I don't know if they're going to do Luther.
Could you imagine? Luther may only be taken in loyalist armies. And you're like, oh, really? And then the line, it just doesn't say anything. You're like, I see how it's going. I see.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to do Luther, right? I don't
I
know.
think that would be a shame if they didn't.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. I would love to see a model. Fluff wise, I think it makes sense.
Like they make
But, like,
Corferon.
Yeah.
Do you have like regular Luther and like transfigured
Luther?
Luther?
But maybe
Right.
that comes in a book later on where you have like, transfigured
The Civil
Horus.
War or whatever.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
because like Luther at some point gets so powerful that he stands up to the lion, which technically should be
Well, he's
impossible.
possessed pretty much, right? So
Right.
he's jacked up by chaos. His allies.
Is he gonna look scrunty if he's got a little model? Because he's human, right?
Yeah. Well, he's got the same gene manipulation that like Corferon did to give him like, advanced strength and stuff like that, but he's not in Astartes.
By the way, why did they have Corferon as a model?
Well, that's just, yeah.
Well, he's,
Like, there's so many better models out there. Like for word bearers,
Probably
Why
because
him?
he's the
father,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
father of it all, right?
and one of
I
the one of the commanders of the forces, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Argyle Tal would have been a better choice.
Oh, 10
Oh,
10 times
100%.
better.
So much. Yeah.
100%. I don't think we've ever seen Corferon fielded, but
No, because he's toughness 3 and he just dies from anything strength 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
so. But there's a lot of characters like that, even for the world leaders, that they're one character they have in the book, Sob. He's I think that's his name. I can't remember, but he's literally like a sergeant, and it's like, why would I even ever take this guy? It's not worth it, right?
Low points, maybe, right?
Rule's
Like that's
cool, man.
yeah.
Well,
cool.
they could have done a whole bunch of other characters, right?
Well,
So-
who's
I
to say they
personally-
aren't coming.
am really
I hope
hurt
so.
that the Lions model though came out
Before
Before
Khan.
and Jagged Icon
Are
still
you
does
waiting-
not have a model.
Well, that's because he was made. He was supposed to be in book 8.
Yeah.
The Dark Angels, wasn't that the whole thing that they were supposed to be in book 8 and that they decided to jump it and give it to
Bump
Blood
it
Angels
back.
and White Scars?
Maybe, I don't know, but I really, really want Jagged Icon. I mean, just because he's so cool.
Well, he's gonna be riding a Land Raider or Rhino, right?
Land Raider.
It'll look really cool.
like a saddle on a Land Raider.
He'll be the biggest Primarch because of his bike.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully the artist that did the lion is doing him as well.
Yeah. All the Dark
Right.
Angel stuff that they've done are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like top-notch sculpts for sure. So
They must have got the Space Wolf guy to sculpt them, hey?
no, that guy quit. It's true. He left, man. I think he left. So there's a lot of
He was politely
speculation about
asked to
it
never come
on
back.
the Space Wolves page, and yeah.
No,
That'd be a chat to see him in the Space Wolf channels. Just leave him
Like
out there
some-
hang. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, we've had some pretty good models and some not so pretty good models, but
right?
Got models.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, except now,
Not-
I can't.
they're
not
bringing
every
them out
Legion-
before the book.
Yeah, I can't buy anything, so
Yeah.
I've been looking to order some Dark Angel stuff. I can't.
It just feels like a different Forge World for them to like slow release all the models before the book, because in the past they've always just done the book and then brought out the models.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And this one, and then they actually gave the lines rules. I mean, the last time they did that with Russ, and they literally just gave him a power axe and a power sword and generic 6s across the board
Yeah.
for his Primarch rules.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this one, they're
Worked
actually
good.
like, oh no, you can actually play. You might not know the army specific rules or his points, but you can still play with the model.
If somebody said I'll pay 450 points for him, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I don't care.
Yeah.
Play him.
That's kind of average for Primarchs, yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Like if you want to be really about it, but then they're not using the Primarch. But yeah, no, I'd be totally cool with that. Like bring him on. Let's play. Right. Yeah, it'll be nice to see that whole campaign, Night Lords and Dark Angels. I really enjoyed
what
those
I laugh
books.
about that too is I realize that Conrad does -2 to your leadership, but the extra dice to your morale, I think, is better than rolling -2.
I don't know, to be honest.
You have to play around with it.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'd have to look at it.
But it's just funny because I just think he does more to your morale than Conrad does with the Wolf's Blade.
Yeah, that I agree with. The rules, like, I think Night Lords definitely need a little bit of a bump after seeing the Lions rules, right?
Oh,
like
for
Conrad
sure.
needs just a little bit of something. So
Do
hopefully
you
they
even
do an
think that
update.
Conrad can even fight fairly against
Right now, no.
because he's always
No.
strength 6 with Shred. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, I don't think Conrad would stand a chance.
because he's
Not
wounding
right
at
now.
4s.
I mean, don't
But
get me
he
wrong.
doesn't win in the book
Fluff-wise,
either. He doesn't
the
get-
Lion does eventually beat him, right?
So.
But Conrad definitely puts up a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's got weapon skill 8s, but it's just I think Conrad being strength 6 with Shred is not very good. So.
He's not one of the heavy hitters, right?
No, he's
Be
meant to
surprised,
swing
like, why doesn't he have Fleshbane if he's got, the claws and his whole specialty is like just skinning people alive. I don't know.
Okay, but you talk about that. Like, look at Khan's weapon. It's garbage.
Well, he gets +1 initiative in a challenge.
Okay.
Hey, it's pretty good, man.
He's base strength, unless it's first turn of combat, or is it when he charges?
Yeah, but he's got hit and run. He just jumps out of combat, jumps back into combat.
And he got a cool ride, man.
Yeah, and a cool ride. Gets hammer.
Yeah, but why doesn't he always get the +1 strength?
Why doesn't Sanguinius get the +3 every time with his spear?
Well, because a spear makes sense. He charges in, gets +3. I get that, but Sanguinius's other sword is better.
Yeah, because he's got Shred.
But like a regular power glaive, I would argue, is better than the White Tiger Dao. Yeah, okay, it gives you the extra initiative, sure. It's mastercrafted, okay, that's good. But like, the +1 strength makes a huge difference when you Primarchs. Like, massive. Right? Especially at base strength 6.
Yeah.
How many attacks does the Khan have?
A lot. Well, 6, and then
6.
he has 2 close combat weapons.
Yeah, so he's
Same as
7
Russ.
attacks all the time.
So he has a pistol and so 7, and then on the charge 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like, Khan's a good Primarch. Right?
Oh, for sure.
But he's also really good because he has 3+
But he's
multiple
not,
in
like-
close combat.
He's not Lion good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the strength 10 really
Upsets
Makes
that
it-
balance.
makes a difference. Yeah.
Don't worry, the Emperor will be coming out next, and we won't even remember the Lion.
Will he though?
No.
Probably not.
I don't know. I kind of want to see the Emperor point.
I'd be fine with the model. I just don't want it to have rules.
No?
Well, what are you gonna give it? 10 everything?
He's gonna mind blast everybody?
Like, how can you put a how can you put a number on them, right? Like,
Horus
if you
almost beats him.
forces
Not
100,000 Marines to the ground, how can you play against that rules wise?
Okay, but Magnus can also wipe out entire armies by himself, but Russ stands up to him.
Wow,
right?
Magnus
There's a
has got
difference.
conscience.
Like Primarchs are built to be beings of the warp that are meant to be able to go up against each other, right?
Yeah.
So even against the Emperor, technically they should be able to stand up to him. I mean, we know that they can't,
to a
but
degree, yeah.
to a degree, yeah. That said, though, he does cow Logar as well, doesn't he?
No, the Emperor?
Yeah, because I don't remember that book. I know he makes the Marines kneel.
I
Does
think he
Logar kneel too?
everybody. I think Logar is like resisting so much, but he eventually kneels.
That's
But-
on Monarchia.
We could also talk about how Cor Farron
Mhm.
threw around Gulliman, almost killed him. Like
When
they're
was
not-
this?
on No Fear.
I don't remember this. I read the book.
When he boards the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes to fight Cor Farron, and Cor Farron is throwing him around, almost kills him, slits his throat with that dagger, and then
Why do I not remember this?
I don't know. I'm not there yet in the book. So.
Neither am I, actually.
what do you mean?
I feel
No
like-
Fear is like 10 books back.
No Fear?
No
Yeah.
fear. I'm gonna have to reread
It's
that.
the Kelth.
Well, there's a bunch of them, right? But no
Yeah.
fear.
It's the beginning of the Kelth.
I don't remember. Like I
I don't-
remember them
yeah.
boarding the ship, and I remember them fighting on the ship, and I remember Cor Farron like surprising him, but I don't remember him like just throwing him around like a rag doll.
I don't know. I just listened to it a couple weeks ago, and he just throws him around like a rag doll, and pretty much goes for the killing blow. Instead of doing that, he just like wounds him so that he could get hurt. Like what's his name? Horus, to try and turn him into another Horus, but doesn't kill him, and that was his mistake. So Gulliman pretty much punched out Cor Farron's heart.
I'm gonna have to look into this now.
I guess you have to go back and
Yeah,
Yeah, that I don't remember that part.
I don't remember that either. Like I remember parts of it, but I don't remember him easily doing it. I know you're gonna pull it out now. No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Oh, it's your puppy. Okay, I
Right.
think that's it for me for the
Yeah,
lion.
we're kind of
at
getting
least.
away from our topic. Yeah.
Yeah, but this was fun. We'll
Yeah.
definitely have to keep talking about. We'll just have to pick a topic and stick to it because we
Yeah,
can do this for
exactly.
6 hours.
The agenda.
Oh, of course we can do this for hours.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you for
And,
listening, and
mhm.
definitely chime in on what you thought of.
Yeah, if you guys have
The
topics that you
Badcast.
want us to talk about, because we always talk about this stuff anyways, and we're just like, we might as well just film it while we're in quarantine. So
Yeah.
Sure. And then we can always get people to join us in conversations,
That's
what they think and whatnot.
That's right. If anybody's interested, reach out to us. Let us know. We can definitely have you on here. This is pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our YouTube channel or Facebook page and our Instagram as well. We got tons of pictures going up almost every day, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So we got lots on the go, from new projects, models, Titanicus, 30K, 40K, terrain, and events that we're involved in and whatnot as well. So check us out. And yeah, I guess we will catch you guys all next time.